Okay, so this episode was more than just a banger. It was actually entertaining for a few variety of reasons, and the post-credit scene. I'd like to make a comment on how Crunchyroll, how do you make this fuck up? They defeat the Sin Archbishop of Lust. I did not know Capella was here fighting against Priscilla and Liliana. That's strange. I thought she was fighting Aldebaran. What is going on? Like, this is absolutely ridiculous, and I just have to mention it. It is the most bonkers things to get a big fuck up like this, similar to the fuck up on Twitter, where they called Regulus the Sin Archbishop of Pride, trying to make a joke of Reinhardt hit Pride where it hurts, his pride, and it's like, he's not Pride. Pride is not even open at this moment. Anyway, outside of that rant that I wanted to do here, I just wanted it to get out because I've been silent about it, and I think it's absurd at this point that they keep making stupid fuck-ups like this. But anyway, this episode was such a banger that we need to go over 3 different sections. The past, the present, and Subaru and Regulus. Okay, so the Liliana backstory. I genuinely think it wasn't bad. Like, I actually ended up enjoying it.
If you ever come in here again with a goddamn opinion, I will shove it so far up your ass, you'll never see the light.
Okay, so so web novel readers know that the Liliana chapters are horrendously bad because of Liliana, and that's a separate thing because obviously web novel, light novel, slightly different, and anime kind of made it fun. Like Liliana's parents, they're interesting in the sense that Liliana's mom is quite the hottie for sure, but also the fact that her singing is like on a whole different other level. But this is where I kind of find it funny when it comes down to Liliana and her wanting to kind of just be free, do whatever she wants, because she wants to do music. She has a passion for it. She wants to be king of the bards, which unironically just is Luffy, but in a whole different character. Similar motives of wanting to be the king of something, wanting freedom and all that, and I am genuinely vibing with it. I sympathize with Liliana's struggle. Like, she ended her relationship with her parents, or at the very least, like, wanting to follow them because of creative differences and because they tend to not do fun things like she would want, like go to a big city and perform because there's other show business that run that place, I guess. I don't know. It is a lot more that they want to do specific things with only small towns, while Liliana's kind of wanting to do, well, bigger things. And she kind of does to an extent, as, it takes her a lot, but throughout her journey, she definitely does work on her craft, gets into shenanigans. But I think what for sure hurt was seeing her parents again and seeing them with a child, essentially being replaced. And her putting on that bag so they wouldn't recognize her, I think that hurt for sure for her, because you could see her mad. And her alone in the forest, like near death. And eventually the next day, she finally gets a song in her mind that cements her to the path that she's in of being the songstress. And obviously marrying Kuritaka and all the people in Pristella. Like, everything led to this one moment that led her to where she is right now. And I genuinely did enjoy it. Now, before we end this section, I'd like to make an additional note. As I mentioned, web novel readers know that Liliana is a bit more of an insane character because her chapters are a bit insane to read. But if you are curious, I will put it in the link below. But Studio Reverie did made the whole Liliana stuff into a video with editing. Yes, I was included in that editing, so shameless plug in a sense. But it is worth the watch if you want to see the comparisons between these two, the anime and the web novel. Well, anime / light novel versus the web novel. But anyway, let's go on to the next section. I think we can all say that the battle against Crunchyroll, like that was pretty badass. A lot of it is because Priscilla, like the gifts she got from her 8 husbands are essentially protections in a sense. She can take hits and it's not gonna kill her or cause her to be like fatally wounded. Like she is taking on a lot of what Wrath is throwing at. And my god, Lee, it is insane how not only Priscilla but Liliana are able to piss Sirius the hell off. And that's because this is a battle of emotions, like true emotions, true love, in the sense. What is love? For Sirius, it's becoming one, which, I mean, in a certain context, it could be right, but in the way Sirius is taking it is in the most absurdly wrong position, and that is the problem. So, Priscilla does point out a lot of the flaws with Wrath, and how her thinking is just obviously wrong, and Sirius doesn't like it, as well as her not thinking that Liliana's song is able to reach the people that are under her spell. And it does. Like, Liliana's songs are that strong. It's able to touch a person's heart, and she did free the people there. And yeah, Sirius lost her damn mind, went on a tirade, and just as it seemed like she was about to be kaput, she decides to pull something that she did with Emilia when Emilia was pushing her to her limit. And that was bring in her hostage from wherever the hell she pulled it off, a little dimension. It's kind of a little weird, but yeah, she pulls out the little girl, and Emilia and Priscilla did have a similar reaction, but with Priscilla, it's like, oh, you want to play that game? All right, just immediately is able to cut through, well, the chains that are holding the little girl and through Sirius, showing that, this isn't going to work, and I can cut through whatever I want. And she backed up her words, because she had not laid a scratch on that little girl, and that was pretty badass, as well as finishing Sirius off. Though, unfortunately, Sirius didn't die, but that was because the sword, I guess, ran out of power. And even Priscilla kind of says that she's kind of lucky for that. But other than that, Liliana, well, falls into the water. She seems like she's going to die, and then Kiritaka comes in. I actually laughed when he appeared and just jumped into the water, because that was actually hilarious for me. And yeah, it seems a little wholesome that Liliana does like being her songstress. And she definitely did all of that to free the people and everything, because she cares for, well, the city, the people, and for Kiritaka. Like, she definitely cares for them. And as much as Liliana did annoy me in terms of the web novel, I think here I genuinely like her. Yeah, web novels, kill me for it. But let me just say, I don't think it was bad. If anything, I actually like Liliana now. And to end this with this final section, I want to say, obviously, Subaru solving the whole thing of Regulus' authority, explaining that every Sin Archbishops are named under stars, with, interestingly, going over Betelgeuse's name coming from the hands of all Jaws, which translates to unseen hand, which obviously, if you're from the ReZero world, you wouldn't know this, but because Subaru is a unique person and Aldebaran, they would have probably been able to solve it. And considering that unseen hand is what Betelgeuse's authority is, it would make sense that Regulus, being part of the constellation Leo, actually, that's kind of funny that there's a constellation Leo, because that's my little brother's nickname, obviously, but name for we call him anyway. So anyway, getting sidetracked. So the meaning there is known as Little King and Corleones, which all translates to Lion's Heart. And obviously Subaru is just explaining that Regulus isn't invincible in the sense that he can just take whatever damage and nothing's gonna happen. It's that his body has stopped time, so there's no effect on him. And obviously Regulus gets super pissed off at this, because why the hell does he want to hear his own weakness being told to him? And yeah, essentially he goes to attack Subaru. And Subaru knows that Emilia's goal is to get the wives of Regulus, the Little King's wives, where the Little Kingdom is located, which is the church at the moment, get them out of there, as well as trying to figure out the connection between the wives and his authority, which, as I got to say, that authority is annoying. That's the only reason Regulus is even able to stand up to Reinhardt, is because his authority is kind of annoying to get around. But anyway, outside of that, as I said, I definitely enjoyed the episode. It is for sure another 10 out of 10 banger.